And the cool thing about this is the students can always, and it's hard to see on here because my recording is blocking it, but they can always go back to the other slides and to the models. So if they're stuck here, they can click back and look at those examples. But they would write their answers here, so now they're becoming more independent. Lastly, their last practice, which is also their formative assessment, we have the evidence, and independently students will identify their own connections, their background knowledge, and then make an inference. And that will be actually graded on the rubric that I've included on my post. And they would, again, just write their answers here. I know and I can infer. And then obviously the teacher will get their responses in that Excel spreadsheet. This is a connection to a practice quiz, so they can click on this link right here and it will bring them directly to a practice quiz. So they put their names and they can go through questions that will be similar to the questions that they'll do on the summative assessment for this skill. So more multiple choice based inferencing questions. This slide is links for extra practice. So if they want to do some more practice, I'm encouraging them to do one. So it asks them to drag their dot next to the one that they try. So let's say I did this one. I'm going to bring my dot right here so my teacher can see I tried this one and follow up about that. But encourages them to try all of them if they want to, if they need the extra practice. Lastly, it's just encouraging the students, and then this is a check-in for them. Draw a picture of how you're feeling about making inferences. Remember, you can go through this practice as many times as you need to. So now students have the tools, just using their cursor to draw. And I think I'm hiding the tools to do it. So they can use their pens, which mine is blocking right now, and maybe they're going to say that they're doing great, or maybe they're going to give me a face like this, or an arrow down because they need some more support. But they can draw any symbol that they want, and I'll be able to see their drawings at the end as well. And I'm going to bring you back to, because that was the last slide, back to my screen. And now you can see that the teacher can see all of the responses that the students put in. So if I'm on this next slide, I can see if I have multiple students answering, how many answered each one, who wrote what about everything that's on here. So I can see data anonymously. And when I do this in my class as a whole, I'll actually present their responses. So, a bunch of you said this. Why'd you think this? Oh, some of you chose this. Nobody thought this one. Why not? But because this is individual, this is something that I'll just use to kind of check in and assess them formatively. So Pear Deck, it's an add-on to Google Slides. It's awesome, and it allows students to engage with your slides. And then at the end, when you click end, you can allow them to stay on. So if he needs additional time, he can work on it on his own, or you can just end the session. You can name it Ryan's first period practice, save and end session, and then share this with your students so they can review their individual responses and see your feedback. So you can share this with them. Open, reflect, and review. So students can go through and reflect on their own data. And again, like I said, it'll send you their own a spreadsheet of everyone's answers with their names. So on here, it's anonymous, but on the data sheet, you'll be able to see who said what and who obviously was struggling or who was doing really well and is ready to move on. So again, this is my student presentation on making inferences. It is a technology example since I can't work with a specific classroom. But I will post the presentation and these videos so you can get an idea of what it's like. Thank you so much for listening.